Hey everybody, it's your man Tyke coming to you with another true spook story. Now you know what I like to say before I get to this story. How about you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and please consider sharing me. As y'all know, these stories are the best and creepiest and true, allegedly. TikTok, don't cancel me. All right, everybody, let's get on into this thing. I'm gonna hit you hard and fast, but I want you guys to really understand. And as a disclaimer, people on this channel, I use Southern verbiage. I use Southern verbiage from when I grew up, in a time where people weren't politically correct. That's the appeal of the stories. So if you guys are sensitive in your feelings and you don't want to hear how I grew up and what was said, please exit the channel. Don't ruin it for everybody just because you're in your feelings over some words or some phrases that were said before your ass were born. Disclaimer, trigger warning, all that shit in the beginning. Now, with all that being said, this story gonna take place in Orlando, Florida, right off of Old Wintergarden Road, next to the Jewish cemetery. You see, there's a Jewish cemetery over that way. Soon as you going down, you let's say you're on Old Wintergarden Road and you cross over Kirkman Road, headed towards Vineland, Rose Park, over there in that area there. If you look to your left hand side, you'll see a Jewish cemetery, very well kept Jewish cemetery, but there's two cemeteries on either side of that one that's not kept up so good. This cemetery is going to be the one to the right of the Jewish cemetery, that wasn't kept up good, but hey, it is what it is. So now, back in the day, matter of fact, just to give you a little kick, the one that was on the left is where Stanley, the dog Stanley, was buried. The story I did about Stanley the dog, that was to the right of the Jewish cemetery. This one right here is to the left of it, so in the same area. All right, got that out the way. So now, there used to be a bell that sat directly in the middle of that cemetery. It used to be like the outhouse. You could still see the outhouse where they kept all the equipment, whatever. But surrounding that, there was the cemetery, the bodies. They done moved some of the bodies now, with the gravestones, whatever. But back in the day when I was growing up, there used to be a bell there. Now, only the white folk that was that lived in the area of Ola Vista got buried in that cemetery. No blacks, no none of that stuff. It was strictly for all white American men and women. If I'm not mistaken, one of the owners of A&W Root Beer, one of their generation, was buried over there, from where the story was told, but that ain't gonna have nothing to do with this. Well, so now there used to be a bell in the middle of that cemetery, and every night, every night around by 6:30, 7 o'clock, right before it started getting nighttime, at not dawn, I don't know what it is, sunset, there used to be an old lady. She would go there and she would ring the bell once. She'll ring it once, ching. She'll come back and ring that bitch again, ching. Then she'll go, well, she didn't come back. She would ring it once, ching. Then she would circle the cemetery, starting from the right side at the beginning where you go in the gate. She'll walk the whole perimeter. Old lady, wearing all black, head covered, all that. Then she'll go to the front, walk up there, hit it again, bing. Then she'll do the same thing. She would do this 3 times. Now, people, while she doing this 3 times, I used to see it because we used to come home from basketball practice over in that way, because they had a YMCA in that area. We stopped by the little Caribbean store, get us a beef patty on the way to the crib. We were walking. So, I used to see it. I'm like, that's strange. I say, well, let me ask Grandma about this, what's going on. And because I thought it was an apparition. We all saw it. I'm like, man, it's a ghost in that bitch. So, everybody in the community thought it was a ghost, because ain't nobody strong enough to go check on the bitch. We see a little bit floating around in the graveyard wearing a black dress, ringing a bell with a little lantern in her hand. Yeah, we ain't fucking with that. You either one of them occult crazy people, devil worshippers in our mind. Oh, bitch, you just a lunatic old ghost just ain't going to sleep. But we ain't fucking with you either way. We from the South. We understand this type of shit. So I go and I say, hey, grandma. I say, grandma, man. I say, every time by six day at night, you know, there's a little lady. She come ring a bell in the middle of the cemetery. I say, and I don't know if she real, I don't know if my mind playing tricks on me. Grandma said, help me out, grandma, what's going on? And grandma said, oh, they still doing that? I say, what you mean, grandma, they still doing what? She said, don't nobody practice reaving the bell. I said, what you know about reaving the bell? You know, because back in the day, I done played video games with reave in the word. You know, so I looked it up, you know, soul reavers, that's stealing. Anything you read something, you know, because I like history and pirates and shit. So she was like, it's called reaving the bell. I say, explain. So grandma said, well, you know, when somebody dead and you get a loved one, you get that feeling in your heart where somebody just fucking with your loved ones, they taking cemetery dirt, or they come and just steal from them, or just rob the grave, or however them bitches used to do back in the day. Say that what we would do, we would have a system where if somebody seen it, they would walk into the cemetery and ring the bell. Now, this is the only time you didn't have to pay the cemetery fare. But you would walk your ass up in there, you would creep up in there, and you would ring that bell. You would ring it one time and then you book it out of there because you never know if they may have a weapon to shoot your ass or something. I say, well, grandmama, this old lady, she be around there reaving the hell out of that bell. Say, we stood there one time behind the tree next to the Jamaican shop, and she walked around the cemetery and she run a bit 3 times. Now, people, when I told grandma how many times she run that bell, my grandma face turned cold. Now, when I say my grandma face turned cold, my grandma face turned real cold, people. And grandma said, what? She said, why you ain't been told me this? I said, grandma, I thought we were seeing a ghost. I say, I didn't want to Scooby-Doo and Mystery Machine this motherfucker up here. I say, that bitch looked real, wearing real black clothes, grandma. She say, well, we got to go our ass out there and we need to see. I say, grandma, that's a ghost or that's a real person? She say, that's a real person. That's my girlfriend. I know her. I said, you know this lady? Yeah. I said, all right, grandma. I say, well, tomorrow, you know, come get me from basketball practice, you know, I wait. So I waited up there. It's about 6:30. I ain't see grandma. Waited up there. It's about 7:30. I ain't see grandma. So I said, let me walk my ass on home. Grandma with the bullshit. You know, I ain't tell her that. I just was thinking it. Grandma with the fuck shit, man. So as I'm getting to Old Wintergone Road and I'm turning off, I'm walking. So I said, let me jog past this bitch because it's 8:30 at night. It's on to me. And I can see the little glow from the lantern in the dark, right, y'all? So I'm like, man, fuck. So I'm running. As I'm running, I start hearing like 3 or 4 dogs behind me chasing me. So I look back, but I don't see no dogs. So I'm like, okay, maybe they in the gate and they gonna come out behind the gate. Now, people, I forgot to tell you guys that next to that cemetery is a white church across the street from all of them. It's a white church, and that white church, whoever went to that white church, not a color white, I mean, not like white folks church, but like a white church. Then you cross the street, then you got the pet cemetery, then you got the Jewish cemetery, then you got the rundown black cemetery, that energy there. So as I'm sitting up there running and I'm hearing the dogs, I'm like, man, where these dogs at? I hear them, they close, they catching up on me, but I'm looking back and I don't see them. So as I'm running, I look over to my right and I look in the cemetery and I see the lady. Well, now the lady ain't over there hovering over the bell no more, ringing the bell. Now she's at the front of the gate with the lantern and she looking at me. Now when the lady looking like at me run and getting chased by these imaginary dogs, she raised her hand up in the air and she waved me over to her. So I'm like, fuck this shit, right? You know, old creepy lady in the cemetery waving me to her. So I keep on booking. So I'm booking that bitch. She ain't gonna catch me. So then, so I get to Kirkman Road. So when I look back, the glow from the lantern gone, the lady done walk back in the cemetery, so I calm down, catch my breath, I don't hear the dogs barking no more. So I get to the house, I'm like, Grandma, where you was, man? She like, what you mean where I was? I was home. Where the fuck I supposed to be? I said, Grandma, we had a talk. You said you would pick me up from the basketball, from the YMCA up the road yonder, so we could go look at the lady in the cemetery. Now people, check it out. She said, what lady in the cemetery? I said, Grandma, we had a whole 5-10 minute conversation about the lady in the cemetery, Grandma. She said, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Tell me about this lady. So people, again, I tell Grandma about the lady in the cemetery, ringing the bell 3 times, making her way around the motherfucking cemetery 3 times. She said, same reply. What? They still ringing the bell? Well, we got to go check this out. She said, I come get you from the basketball game and we'll go check it out because I need to see. That's my girlfriend. I say, all right, Grandma. I say, so you remember this time? She say, I ain't forget the first time. We never talked about it. Get your ass out of here. I ain't getting old. So I laughed the shit off, but I know I spoke to Grandma about this shit, y'all. So again, I'm over there waiting. Grandma ain't show up. I say, this the bullshit here. Grandma with the bullshit. I said, she probably, done fell asleep, tired from work. So again, I gotta run past that bitch. So now when I run past it, I'm like doing a light jog, and I'm across the street. Again, it's 8:30 at night. I see the old lady in front of the cemetery, and she got the lantern in her hand, and she waving me over. Come here. And now I'm hearing her voice like, come here. I'm like, fuck this shit. So, I take the brisk jog, I look at her ass, throw it the deuces, in my mind, I ain't do it to her direct, that disrespect. So I'm like, bitch, deuces. So I jog my ass. I'm not hearing the dogs too loud this time, but I can hear them. So, okay, I made it to Kurt now. I look back, I don't see the lantern. I say, okay, cool. So I go to Grandma's house again. Grandma, what's up, man? I say, you said you were gonna come get me. Now I know I told you. And Grandma said, now I don't remember you talking to me. She said, I can't seen you in 3 fucking days. I said, Grandma, I was just at your house. I say, Grandma, what's going on now? I say, you got to sit down with me. I say, hell with it. I say, I know you're tired, Grandma. Let's go out here to the cemetery right now. She say, what? I said, Grandma, let's go out here to the cemetery. She say, what you done got your shit into? I said, Grandma, come on, please. Let me put on some clothes. Shit. And you better not motherfucking room me. You gonna buy my back on the way back from 7-Eleven? I said, yes, ma'am. I say, Levi Garrett, Red Man Golden Blend. You better know it. And we start laughing and shit. She said, what the hell you done got me into? So she talking shit to me the whole time. So we pull up over there on Kirkman Road. We cross over Kirkman. We still on Old Wintergone Road. I say, Grandma, they go to the cemetery. So there ain't nowhere to park. So you have to park on the grounds of the church. And you have to walk up the road, probably like a half a block, if that, you got to pass by the open cemetery. Then you got to pass by the Jewish cemetery. Then you're going to see the regular cemetery. So I say, Grandma, right there. I say, it'd be a lady, and I ain't tell Grandma nothing what was going on about the bill, because I wanted to wait till I got her to the cemetery to tell her about this now. I say, Grandma, I say, so every day we come home from practice or basketball court, I say, it'd be a lady in that thing ringing the bell. I say, she rang the bell 3 times. I say, she'll walk in there, she'll walk around, ring the bell, walk around, come back, ring the bell, walk around, come back and ring the bell a 3rd time. Then she just chilling now. We don't stay to see what she do. And she say, what? Somebody still doing that? I say, what, Grandma, reaving the bell? She say, how you know about reaving the bell? I say, you told me this, Grandma. She say, I didn't tell you nothing about no reaving the bell. They don't even do that here. I said, Grandma, this lady is doing it. She say, so is somebody reaving the bell here? I said, yes, ma'am. I say, we finna see her. She say, I had a girlfriend here now. She ring the bell, but she died. I say, died? She say, she used to live in Moultrie with me. And that's something she used to do. Her family is called the Bell Reavers. I say, the Bell Reavers. So I say, Grandma, the word Reave means to steal. And she say, I know. She said that they used to say we steal the sound from the moans and groans of the dead, so that the devil and them can't come get them at night. I say, oh. She said, yeah, if you feel like somebody fucking with your loved one, you would pay their family to go out there to the cemetery and shake the bell every now and then. Say, you were just more than one. I'm surprised she's still doing it. But my girlfriend died a long time ago when she got here. I say, well, I think either your girlfriend out here, Grandma, I say, or it's a bitch being a bell reaver, bringing it back to Florida, not Moultrie, Georgia. Well, I'm here now. We gonna see this bitch. I say, all right. So me and Grandma get in there. Grandma reach in her pocket and she throw some change on the ground. And then Grandma pull out her Levi Garrett Red Man Golden Blend. She chew it up a little bit and she spit on the concrete. Then she gives some like straight tobacco along with the money she give. And she walk on in there. And she say, I paid for you. Come on. So we walk up in there and show as day, we see the glow from the lady lantern. In the center of the cemetery, there is the lady ringing the bell. So Grandma say, let me walk up here. So Grandma walked up to the lady with no feel like it wasn't shit. She say, hey, lady. She say, hey, how you doing, baby? So when the lady turned around, it was an older black woman. Looked very similar to my grandmama, people. I can't make it up. She had the little white afro on her head. She had a head covered, slender lady, straight look on her face. She turned around and she said, Aganju, I've been wanting to talk to you. My grandma stood up like it wasn't nobody business. She said, oh no, bitch, you ain't been wanting to talk to me. And I said, Grandma, what's going on? I said, is this your friend who died that you talking to, or is this like a real person? She said, hold on, shut up, grown folk talking. So I'm thinking the lady real. So Grandma had a whole conversation with the lady. I mean, this conversation went on about 10 minutes, y'all. I say, Grandma, and I'm listening. I'm like, Grandma, really talking to this lady? I say, so this a real person? So, I step back. I know never turn my back, in a cemetery, unless I'm leaving. You only look one way, left, right, stay one distance, then you turn like angles. You always go in angles. Remember that, people. So Grandma put her hand on her hip and she just was talking to the lady. So I took about 7 steps backwards, or 9 to be exact, because I knew Grandma needed her privacy. They wasn't yelling, they were just talking. So Grandma put her hand on her hip. Grandma's head was shaking. She was throwing her hand and she was talking to the lady. So then Grandma said, this my grandson, Tyke. Come here. So I walk up there real quick and I stand next to Grandmama and I keep my hands in my pocket. She say, always keep your hands to your side in your pocket. Never expose the palm of your hand to any apparition you see in the cemetery. Even if you talk to somebody, never shake hands in the cemetery unless you know for sure that's a real person. Keep your hands to yourself. I had my hands in my pocket, so the lady looked at me. She pointed the lantern over there to me. The light illuminated my face and everything. And Grandma said, mm-hmm. So she turned the lantern back to Grandma. So she pointed at the bell and said, go ahead and ring it, Agunja. I heard her voice. Go ahead and ring it, Agunja. But she said it with a snarl, like, go ahead and ring it. And I'm like, Grandma, you gonna ring this bell? And Grandma say, bitch, it ain't my time yet to ring the bell. You still need to ring that bell. And she said, no, you need to ring that bell. And Grandma was like, bitch, I ain't reaving nothing for nobody. I helps people. I'm no reaver. I'm no soul reaver. I'm not stopping the devil from doing what the fuck they do. The devil gotta get what they gotta get. And bitch, that's your family trait. So she said, well, bitch, I can't help it that you came down here and you couldn't hack it. So Grandma talking to the little lady like it ain't shit. I'm like, oh, they ain't friends. These bitches arguing. So, I say, okay, Grandma. I say, Grandma, I'm getting a little hungry. It's time to go. She said, yeah, I agree, baby. I'm getting hungry too. So Grandma said, baby, do me a favor. Guide me backwards. And Grandma said, okay. So I get behind Grandmama and I'm taking long steps, 1, 2, because me and Grandma ain't turning our back. We understand. We don't look backwards and we don't turn until we get out of the cemetery where we can't turn backwards. So I got Grandma by the hips and I'm walking backwards and Grandma lockstep, me and Grandma lockstep in that bitch back. So Grandma and me still looking at the lady who was by the bell. So the lady get the nerve to walk from by the bell. She put the lantern on the ground. I keep in mind now it's like 8:30 at night, so it's really dark. without that lantern, you really can't see nothing but silhouettes and shadows, people. So I'm walking backwards with grandma like it ain't nobody business. And I said, Grandma, I can't walk fast because I don't want you to fall and hurt yourself. I say, but if the lady charge at us, I'm going to jump in front of you and I'm going to let her get me because I got a lot of life in me. So she can't really take my soul like that of life because I know I'm protected by you. She say, baby, you ain't got to do that. That bitch ain't crazy. She say, just keep on walking. I'm staring at her. I say, yes, ma'am. So I'm walking. I can't turn my head to see where it's at. Now, people, it looked like we walked for the longest backwards for miles. I swear to God, it took so long to get out that thing to get to the gate. So when I got to the gate and I said, Grandma, I can hear the car. Grandma say, okay, baby, stop right here. So as I stopped, I started paying attention more because I was looking at Grandma's arms, her shirt, her hair, looking at the sweat run down Grandma's neck and shit. And I want to make sure Grandma wasn't going to have no heart attack. And I'm praying to God, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Allah, anything. Let my grandma make it out of here safe because I know she had just got through arguing with this lady. The lady probably had powers just like grandmama, death touch. I don't know. I'm thinking some crazy shit, y'all. So we get to the edge of the cemetery right before we get ready to walk out. And I look up. I look behind grandma's right shoulder. And I see the lady. And the lady is in grandma's face. I mean, less than 3 feet away from grandma. So as I'm walking backwards, the lady taking step by step with me and grandma. Never touching grandma, but she taking step by step with me and grandma. So we at the cemetery. She said, stop right here, baby. I need to put this bitch in her place. So grandma said, nah, you ready for me? And she like ring the bell a ganja. Grandma say, no, that's your job. So grandma say, I'm gonna give you to the count of 3 to get your ass back over there where you supposed to be at. If not, you coming home with me and I'm gonna put your ass in a box. And the lady like rolled her eyes at grandmama and I could see her eyes, and it's nighttime because her eyes was the only thing kind of illuminated. She still had on the black robe with her head covered. She rolled her eyes, and then the apparition lady turned her back to grandmama and she walked, but she threw up her left hand and she waved it like 3 times at grandma, like the wrist only. And she went back over there and she picked up the lantern and grandma, and she started like looking at the thing again and praying again. I said, Grandma, what the fuck going on? So now I'm spooked out and I'm cursing because again, I don't know if this is an apparition. I don't know if this is just a lady babysitting the cemetery. So I walk out. When grandma walk out, we turn our head, we look down at the ground as we walk. We hearing the dogs barking and snarling again. So grandma say, baby, I want you to get in front of me. I say, why, grandma? She say, them hellhounds you hearing. You hear them? I say, yes, ma'am. She say, see, you young. The hellhounds gonna want the young bones, the young marrow out your bone. Say, cause I done pissed that bitch off. Say, but they don't want no old lady like me. Get in front of me, baby. Yes, ma'am. So I put my head down. I get in front of grandmama like it ain't nobody business. And I put my head down and me and grandma walking. We walk in like a half a block away to the car where we parked the Buick. So we start, soon as we get to the street where the white church at, we start hearing the hellhound. Me and grandma still looking down. Grandma get in the car. She don't even back up. She just like roll over the street and she don't back out of the driveway. She jumped the curb with the Buick and she did not look back no time soon. She didn't pay attention looking back. Nothing that way, y'all. So we get there. So grandma bent a left on Kirkman and we finna go up Riley Street. So when we bent the thing on Kirkman and we started getting past the little Shell gas station that was right there at the time, then we kept looking straight, then turn our head, didn't do nothing till we got to Riley Street. We made a left on Riley, headed back down the Ivy Lane Road. So that's when me and grandma finally broke the silence and started talking. She said, I don't never want you to go that way again in life. I say, ma'am? She said, don't you ever go that way. She said, that bitch want you. I say, why the lady want me, grandma? She said, cause you're mine. You mine. I said, yes, ma'am, I'm yours. I say, I'm your grandbaby. She said, you're mine type. Don't you forget it. Anytime you get approached by some old bitches, you say you mine. Anytime you get approached by a woman and your wife, you say, you belong to me. But promise me you're going to say that type. I said, yes, ma'am, I promise. I promise I'll tell every woman I get with moving forward, I belong to my grandma. Now, people, I'm going to stop it right there and tell you some shit. I met my first wife. I never told her I belong to my grandma. I met my second wife. I never told her I belong to my grandma. I started dating again, and I never told these women I belonged to my grandma. But now, to this day, moving forward, where I'm at in my life, I belong to my grandma. She say I'm the only thing that's gonna protect you from any hurt, harm, and danger in the spiritual world. Because when I die, I plan to protect all of y'all. I said, yes, ma'am. Now back to the story. So I said, yes, ma'am, I'll tell them. I didn't tell them. So now I said, Grandma, so we need to talk about that. I said, what would that lady could? She said, that wasn't no lady, baby. She said, that bitch been dead over 20 years. I say, but I can see her. She said, you not the only one can see her. Everybody can see her. Say, that fact, she come from a family of bell reavers. I say, Grandma, you got to explain to me what a bell reaver is. Now, Grandma got this shakiness in her voice. Not fear, but more like, nigga, you need to understand what I'm telling you. If you don't listen to shit else, understand what I'm telling you. I say, what's a bell reaver? She say, a bell reaver, it's a family of bell reavers. You pay these people money to go out there and ring the bell when you feeling itchy about the dead. When you're not going out there checking on your family, you go to their house and you say, hey, I want to pay you a little bit of money to go out there and ring the bell because my ancestors calling me, my family calling me. I just feel eerie. And the bell reavers will come and they'll ring the bell in your behalf for your ancestors. But the trick is they will call out your ancestor name that's buried, or the person you know who's buried at that cemetery, and get them to ring the bell. And they'll call out that person's name 3 times. And when that person answers, hey, how you doing, huh? Everything go right? What? You get the person's attention before they can answer, or before the devil or the demon who's looking for them can hear their voice. The bell reaver would ring the bell and drown out what your ancestor is saying in the grave, so they won't know what to look for, and it hurts the demon's ear. So I say, oh, okay. So she say, so if you deal with anybody that love that cemetery, the bell reavers, y'all. She said, you know what a bell reaver is? I say, it's a family of people who ring the bell for the dead. I say, I know. I'll make sure I take that to the grave, Grandma. I keep that in mind. She say, please do, baby. And she gave me a hug and a kiss. Now, I thought it was over with Grandma in this cemetery lady, right? So I seen Grandma go back out there one day. I'm at the chick house. So I was at a little chick house over there, right off of John Street. And so I walk out there to the Jamaican store to get a beef patty. Grandma told me don't go that way, but you know me, I'm hard-headed. They make some great beef patties over there. I go there, so I see Grandma Buick park. And when I see Grandma Buick park, it's like 6 at night, 6:30 at night. I see Grandma Buick across the street. I say, oh shit, where Grandma? So I'm looking, so I say, I don't see Grandma. So I say, let me use my own self eyes. Grandma taught me how to use my own self eyes. People you don't know, that's your spiritual eye. Third eye mixed with your 2 eyeballs allow you to see spectrums in the color of the light, the demons, shadows, whatever, called own self eyes. So I started using my own self eyes, and I looked around. And so I seen Grandma, the light Grandma gave off of her was kind of like a green mixed with a purplish, but it was kind of like hazed with a gold. So I say, why is Grandma in the cemetery fucking with that black shadow lady? So I walked across the street, and I hid behind the little cemetery wall. And I'm trying to listen. So I peeked my head around the cemetery, and I said, okay. So I'm hearing Grandma like argue with the woman. Like, bitch, I'm sorry you in this predicament, but you just really need to just go ahead and go to rest. If you got a job or you trapped here, I can maybe help you. But I'm just telling you, I'm not ringing that bell. And she kept saying, Agunju, why you ain't gonna ring the bell? And my grandma like, bitch, it ain't my time to ring the bell. It ain't my job. And I'm hearing Grandma angry about ringing this bell. So I say, okay, let me listen a little bit. I'm going to always jump in on Grandma's spiritual, supernatural, real life shit. It is what it is. My life don't mean nothing when it comes to my grandma, y'all. That's the God and the truth. So I said, okay. So I heard Grandma say, and this is when Grandma started explaining to the lady, like when we was girlfriend, and notice the key word I'm using, girlfriend, not friend girl. It's a big difference in the South. So Grandma had a relationship with this woman, sexual, back in the day. So grandma say, when you came here with me and you left your job and your time, you didn't tell me you was a next in line to be the bell reaver. And when you passed away, and this is how grandma talking, when you passed away, when you got here, you didn't tell me. I mourned for you. I grieved for you. She said, why you never rung the bell for me or gunned you? Why you never came down here and rung the bell for me? She said, because it ain't my job to be a bell reaver. That's your family. My family, we got 5 rings. We control this shit. We don't ring bells. I'm not no low life. And the ghost lady was sitting up there telling grandma, you think I'm a low life because my family bell reavers? You think we low life? We have a mission to do. We have a job to do. This is what I'm eternally locked doing it. And I say, well, you gonna respect who you talking to. I rank high. And grandma say, bitch, I got 5 rings. Now they arguing. Grandma arguing. I could hear both of them. And I'm like, holy shit, grandma, like chicks back in the day. I say, good Lord, man. So I hear grandma say, well, I'm telling you, I'm never gonna ring the bell. She said, you ring the bell for me. You loved me, didn't you? And grandma say, well, you ain't no demon chasing you. You out here ringing the bell still. You doing your job. She said, if I ring this bell, you gonna get free. And where you going? Who gonna ring the bell for people? That ain't your responsibility to keep me in servitude. I ain't put you in servitude, bitch. And she say, bitch, you did put me in servitude because you didn't ring the bell when I died. They came and got me and put me in servitude. And she say, who got you? A demon? The dead? She say, the angels came and got me. And grandma stopped. And grandma say, the angels? The angels out here. I'm ringing the bell on behalf of the angels, not the demons. And grandma say, well, you should be okay, sweetie. Grandma got real nice. She said, no, I'm not okay. Because the angels are just as bad as the goddamn demons. They sitting up here, got me doing the fight. I want to be free. And grandma say, what did it take you to be free? I need somebody to come and ring this bell or gun you. I want to go home. I just want to rest. And grandma said, well, I don't know who could ring the bell. She said, your grandson got energy. He got a lot of life in it. He high, not there. And she said, my grandbaby ain't here. And she said, tight. I jumped up. Yes, ma'am. But I didn't look in the cemetery. I looked the other way because grandma had a weird glow about her ass. I said, ma'am. She said, what you doing here? I said, I saw your car. She said, sit your ass there and don't move. Don't come in this cemetery. I said, yes, ma'am. So I'm standing at the gate and I'm looking at the road and I'm hearing them talk. She said, well, I'm not letting my grandbaby sacrifice himself for you. Not 1 minute of his life, not 1 day, not 1 year. She said, well, I need somebody to ring this bell. I want to be free. She said, you got another family member here? She said, yeah. Some of my family came here looking for me. Say they here. Where they at? She said they right there on John Street. Right at the house where your grandson go at, sleeping with that girl. I said, I ain't sleeping with a grandma. I said, I'm still a virgin. I'm 16, 17 years old. I ain't had my nuts cracked till I turned 18. She said, well, what's the girl name? So I told the girl name. She said, bring that bitch to this cemetery tomorrow, this time. I said, all right. So I go over there, talk to the girl, lay up, kiss on them, put my fingers all in her panties. I'm thinking the bitch gonna die tomorrow. I'm finna go all out here. She ain't give me no cootie, so flying my fingers up in a bit. That's the only thing I was doing. Tucked on a breast or two. So I say, well, grandma wants you at the cemetery. I think you got a relative buried over there. He say, oh, I love this type of stuff. I say, but I'm gonna warn you. I say, you gonna have to ring a bell, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I say, you into this witch shit, it's a cult shit, but I'm telling you, I'm seeing your relative and it's a ghost bitch over there. She's like, I don't care nothing about that. If I could help out my relatives, I will. I'm ancestor praise. I know the ancestors. We were taught this from Motri. I said, all right. So grandma walked up there. She said, baby, now I can't ask you to do this. You're going to have to do this on your own. And she said, Taika already told me what I need to do. My ancestor want to be free and she want me to ring the bell. She said, baby, you willing to do that? Say, I'm not asking you. This is on you. She said, I'll do it. So Grandma paid a fare for all three of us to walk in the cemetery. It's okay. The lady standing over there at the bell, and she turned around and she looked up. She said, baby, I used to look just like you when I was young. You so pretty. And the girl's like, oh, wow, you my ancestor? I never got to see you in spirit form. And she's like, yeah, I'm your ancestor. She said, you want to ring this bell to free me? And let me tell you something, how smart this spirit thing goes in these southern families, people. Mostly Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, these southern folks, I'm telling you what they teaching us, man. The girl said, if I ring this bell and I set you free, what I get out the deal? Grandma said, back up. Told me to take 9 steps back, man. Grandma took 9 steps back from both of their ass. But that conversation had nothing to do with us. She said, what you want, baby? She said, can you grant me where I can be wealthy until I die? Because I got to take over this for you, right? He said, yeah. She said, wealthy? What's your term in wealthy? She said, I want to have money and I want to look pretty until the day I go. And she said, okay, gotcha. Now, when she said that, Grandma said, baby, we done here. So Grandma said, don't have her ring that bell till we get out this cemetery. She said, thank you, Gunju. Thank you. I said, thank you. I'm looking at the apparition, and Grandma walked backwards. Now, at that time, walking backwards, we got out of that bitch in less than 30 seconds. We were walking back fast. And then Grandma put our head down, and we walked to the Buick. We left the girl in there in the cemetery. I said, Grandma, we gonna wait for us? Grandma said, that bitch more safer than me and you right at this point in the game. I said, all right. Put our head down, walked the block where Grandma parked the Buick at the church. Same thing, hopped in that bitch. By the time we got to the corner, we heard the bell ring 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. Grandma said, it's done. She said, you ain't got to worry about her messing with you no more. So I said, okay, Grandma. I said, Grandma, do I still got to fuck with that girl like that? I said, I ain't screwing now. Grandma said, you know what I'm finna say. Keep your dick to yourself. That bitch there is a lost cause to us. I said, yes, ma'am. And Grandma got in there. We stopped by 7-Eleven, got us some Haagen-Dazs ice cream to share. Got us 1 pint to share, because we ain't had no money on us. Grandma paid at the cemetery for everybody. We got a 1 pint of vanilla Haagen-Dazs ice cream, 2 spoons. So Grandma parked over there by the orange grove on Raleigh. That's when they had orange trees. We parked right under the orange tree. We sat down, we talked. And me and Grandma laughed. We had a little fun, we talked. I said, Grandma, I ain't messing with that girl no more. She said, all right, baby, I'm finna drop you off at home. I'm finna go on my way. I said, yes, ma'am. People, let me tell you now. A couple days passed, I seen that girl. 16, 17, that girl had a Lexus car. Somehow she had got a Lexus. Her family moved from over there in Ola Vista, and they moved into the big houses in Windermere. Never saw that girl like that again. Never got to screw her. But I just understood what was going on. High school didn't see her. Saw she made the newspaper and everything. She was getting wealthy. She was doing all that shit. So now the cemetery fell in decay. Wasn't nobody ringing the bell. They came to that cemetery and they moved that bell because, you know, the bombs, they thought the bombs would go and steal the headstone and steal the bell because it was made out of brass or something. People. There's a part 2 to this story. But I'm finna leave it right here. All right, everybody, I'm tight. Telling you guys, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction, but it's the truth, no doubt. Take care, God bless, and much love. See you in part 2. Have a great one.